Hello and welcome to the Auto Loons YouTube channel when we are back with some more Diecast model reviews in this episode of Small Cars, Small Reviews. Today we'll be looking at a collection of Hot Wheels 1s/64 models for some more different types of motorsports and not just endurance racing. These were part of the 2019 collection. However, the models themselves are based on race cars from different years, like 2000 onwards. Let's get into it. We'll start with the NASCAR model, which is based on stock cars that were used in 2005. FII, NASCAR stands for National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, and it's one of the biggest forms of motorsport in the USA. This one is a Dodge Charger, or Dodge Charger stock car as they were called. It was more commonly seen in the NASCAR Xfinity series, where it was powered by a 5.9 liter pushrod V8 with a 4-speed manual shifter. Don't know if you can see it in here. You can see that little gear stick right there, little detail. The light won't really, let me show it to you as clearly as I wanted to, but it's there. You can see it just about there. In terms of performance, that came up to around 700 meters of torque. In restricted mode, 450 horsepower. Derestricted, it could churn out about 700 horsepower. It's naturally aspirated 5.9 liter V8. Now, this particular model is the number 6 car, and this bit has a red base. With a bunch of sponsor stickers. More importantly is the McNamara, which is like the driver sticker, and the Mopar branding. Now, just for a little heads up, Mopar is the performance parts and service division of FCA, which owns Dodge. Hence, Mopar on a Dodge Charger stock car. Now, the model itself is a very nicely detailed model. I love the red finish. It's very NASCAR, very American. The stickering is there. The rims, which I looked up, these are the yellow MC5 rims. Not all of them came with those style of rims, and I think they really go well with the bodywork. In terms of detailing, not a whole lot on the underneath. Suppose you can see how they've kind of channeled to show that the exhausts were on this side, so it's side exhausts, and it's kind of distinguishing detail of stock cars. Another interesting detail for this model is that this would be the driver's side window. So instead of having, obviously it's Hot Wheels, they won't have different materials, but they have maintained like the mesh window design for the driver's side, which comes out so the driver can get out of the car when they need to. Another nice detail on this model is the sort of metal indenting, or sort of cutting into the metal without really necessarily going into opening parts. So these little designs that you can see here up on the roof and down here, and this is like the hood which opens up this way, but these little indents, these little flaps that sort of open up when the car is like sideways or on the grass or just not facing the right way, or even when they're going the right way at 200 miles an hour, these flaps help kind of balance the cars and keep them on the ground and stop them from sort of flipping over. So that's a great detail touch. The interior, I mean, it's hard to show on camera, but it is as on par with most Hot Wheels models, as one would expect. Overall, a very nice race car model. I mean, I would have loved a little more detailing on the front, but as stock cars themselves don't really feature headlights, I guess it's fair that they didn't go with any headlight stickers on the model cars either. So yeah, that's the 2005 Dodge Charger stock car. Taking to the USA theme, we move from NASCAR to IndyCar. This is another Hot Wheels 2019 Race Day Collection model. This one is a multi-pack exclusive livery, and I've not seen any of the single pack ones in my area. Again, this is a sort of like an older production model that Hot Wheels has been using time and again. This is a bit more modern. This is more modern than the NASCAR, than the stock car that we were just looking at. This is based on the 2011 oval racing. Now, in case you're wondering what IndyCar is sort of an open wheel racing format, different and from Formula 1 and kind of limited to North America. Not restricted, but mainly the fan base is in North America, and they also conduct a lot of races on oval tracks like NASCAR. What's a little more special about this 2011 model is that this was the last IndyCar design to feature the conventional open wheel chassis, compared to the more modern ones, which have a bit more sculpted bodywork for better aerodynamics, and that includes slightly more coverage in and around the wheels. It's still open wheel racing, just not as open as this conventional design right here. This 2011 IndyCar was built on a Dallara IR05 chassis with its completely exposed wheels. The engine back here was a 3.5 liter V8 paired to a 6-speed paddle shifter, and had a performance rating of around 650 horsepower and an extra 40 horsepower available for push to pass, which is kind of like a boost to overtake button. In terms of weight, it's pretty lightweight construction, probably almost our entire carbon fiber. So for oval formats and like this model specifically, it's around 7 to 10 kilos was the regulation weight limit. This design was first introduced in 2012, and this livery is part of the 2019 multi-pack exclusive. You can see it sports the IndyCar logo here, and it has a couple of team brandings like McLaren, Jones, and Leeway. Again, I don't follow IndyCar, so I'm not familiar with any of those names in the motorsport, but overall this design and finish does look good with the white base, the contrasting blue and black stickers, and the orange accents for the suspension and the driver. Speaking of the driver, I think this is very, like, for this size and this price, it's decently detailed. Like, you can tell that the driver is wearing a helmet, you can tell that the hands are holding onto a squared off racing steering wheel. I think obviously any more detailing would be a bit too much to expect. Overall, I don't know what it's missing, but I like the finish, the weighted finish, the metal finish here. For the aerodynamic parts, the fins and the indents all around the engine covers and the body panels. I also love these blue chrome DD8 rims. I think they really kind of bring this livery to life. It may just look like a few more stickers could have been used here and there, but with those rims, it just sort of completes the look, in my opinion. Let me know what you think of this design in the comments below. That's the 2011 Indy Oval Racer Hot Wheels diecast model. From classic American motorsports in their older formats to something that could shape the future of motorsport, we have the Robocar. As its name suggests, the Robocar is an autonomous race car. No, it's not based on some kind of movie concept. It's generally something that was designed to push the boundaries of both electric technology for the powertrain and autonomous technology in terms of just how capable it could be. And that's what the Robocar is. It's an all-electric autonomous race car which was built for the Robo Race series. It was designed by Daniel Simon, who also designed and worked on various movie vehicles in sort of Hollywood movies like Tron Legacy and Oblivion. So you can see some of those futuristic movie-like, Tron-like aspects in this design as well. The chassis is a teardrop design where sort of like pointy at the front and like a bit more rounded at the back. It's been designed for aerodynamic efficiency as evidenced by all the vents and cutaways in this extremely aerodynamic body design, which is not limited by having to include a cockpit for a human inside it. Overall, this Robocar chassis design, this Robocar chassis weighed around 1,350 kilos, and it uses 4 electric motors, one on each wheel. So you get all-wheel drive and an active differential on each wheel for better grip, acceleration through corners. The electric motors have a combined output of around 500 horsepower, and the battery is an 840 volt battery pack. Now for the autonomous part, it is packed to the hilt with sensors and cameras and LiDAR systems and ultrasonic sensors. Just everything that could be used is packed into this design. If I were to assume what some of these things are on this model, this would probably be the LiDAR system, bunch of cameras around here, sensors all over, and I'm guessing a live feed to a sort of server for reading information on the go. We're going to dive a little more into the history of the Robocar and the Roborace series. This car was this development was started in 2016, and its electronic components were placed in a Jetta LMP3 car, and that was sort of the showcase car for the autonomous and EV tech that is placed in the Robocar. And that car was called the DevBot, which did some public testing around the Formula E preseason tests in August 2016. In 2018, the Robocar became the first fully autonomous race car to do a run at the Goodwood Hill Climb during the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which is like a super big motoring annual event for road cars and track cars. The following year, in 2019, the Robocar did a VMAX run on an airstrip and hit an average top speed of 282.42 kilometers per hour, making the world's fastest autonomous car, verified by the Guinness World Record and by the people at Guinness World Records, because the average speed means it had to do 2 runs, one each in the opposite direction, so that they could counter any effects of the tilt or wind. So your average speed has to be the record, and this one did that, set at 284 kph. The Roborace series itself has a deep connection with Formula E, because the current CEO of Roborace is former Formula E champion Lucas Di Grassi, who is also still an active competitor in the Formula E series. He drives for the Audi Abt team, which used to be the Audi Abt Schaeffler team before Audi joined or took over as a factory team. In 2018, Roborace also announced the development of DevBot 2.0, which was a sort of more advanced version of the Jetta LMP3 car, which had the racing components of the Robocar. DevBot 2.0 sort of diluted the autonomous dream, as it had a cabin/cockpit for a human driver, and it looks nothing like the Robocar model that kind of was showcased and the model right here. Instead, the DevBot 2.0 looks more like an LMP concept that you might see in something like the Gran Turismo Sport Racing series. The idea behind the DevBot 2.0's design and its capabilities was to switch its focus from pure autonomous racing to more of a synchronization of human skill and modern and autonomous technology. Di Grassi stated that the idea was to blend human skill and machine capability, and the new race format would include a human driver to do the first stint, and the AI would take over at a midway pit stop to then finish the race. The Robocar series is kind of pushing the boundaries of what was thought acceptable for motorsports and a motorsport format, but there's still a huge leap to be made from an R&D exercise to a truly spectator sport. Back to the model at hand, which is a beautifully detailed model. I spotted this at a supermarket shelf from 3 aisles away, and I rushed over and I was like, there's no way this is what it is. And then yeah, it is what I thought it was, because I had been following the story for the last couple of years, and I was impressed with the design of this Robocar, and to have it in such a detailed model and such a nice black and yellow futuristic yet badass livery with these amazing white rims. It was just too good of a chance to pass up. In terms of the detailing for the aerodynamic, already spoken about the cutaways, the vents, There are also small details like these aero flicks, which are sort of engraved into the front bumper design. These slots here, which would probably house vents, which probably house cameras and sensors, or might just act as vents as well. This ray diffuser, this LiDAR sensor section right here, the central sort of heart and mind of the Robocar section here. It has the Robo Race series logo here, the branding here, and this futuristic hexagonal sort of bio, sort of cyborg kind of gives it like a cyborg vibe to it. This is a great detailed model. I also forgot to mention, this is a matte black finish. I think it's pretty much visible in this video, but to touch as well compared to the other models, it just feels more premium while being the same price as regular Hot Wheels. This definitely is one of my favorite modern day Hot Wheel models. Like, even though it doesn't have the history or the pedigree as a model, I am absolutely in love with this thing, and I hope I can kind of hang on to it for long enough to speak of this as if it was an icon of history. So yeah, that is the 2018 Robocar Hot Wheels diecast model. Alright folks, that's it for this episode of Small Car Small Reviews. There is a Hot Wheels model for the Gen 2 Formula E car, and I'm hoping to get my hands on it as soon as this lockdown ends. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Small Car Small Reviews. Leave a like if you did, and let me know what your thoughts were on these cars in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more occasional videos, and check out the Auto Loons blog where I'm a lot more regular. For more car content, link is in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.